Oh man. Sweet girl. Ashes.
Rio de Janeiro, millions there getting ready to count down to 2025. Just moments away.
2025. I can't believe I took a selfie. There it is.
You're missing them. You're like, look, 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 look. You're not gonna be able to do that.
I'm gonna get one. New Year's Eve at the Waffle House. Wow. Wow. Woo! Wow. It's about to go off. Theoretically. See smoke. Woo! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Woo! Woo! Oh my god, that's so cool. Woo! Happy New Year! Oh yeah. Woo! Right now, I'm feeling it, really feeling it, and this is a perfect time because I don't have work. I don't know where I'm going right now. There it is. I don't have work today, technically, and I'm a little delirious because I have not been to sleep since I got off of work. Just a little background. I got off work at midnight tonight. Today is, sheesh, I have no freaking clue. It was midnight when I got off. I think it's the 5th. It's the 5th. The first Sunday of (2025). First Sunday of 2025. And it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I got off of work 6 hours ago. So I normally work the graveyard shift all the way in the morning. So like right now, which is normally when I'd be getting off of work. But we're going into our slow season, so I got off work a little early. The gym actually is not even open yet. They open up in about 45 minutes. So this may not be a video because I know this is a touchy subject for people, generally speaking. And but like I said, I'm in the mood. Without getting too specific on details, I kind of want to make it like a general fucking thing, a general conversation, but just know that it's triggered by an actual conversation that I had with someone. It's actually maybe a good live. I've been thinking about just going live all year. Because sometimes it's good to have conversations that are uncomfortable sometimes. And if anybody knows me, knows that I'm all about that. I'm all about having the uncomfortable conversation. And today, I'm getting a text from this person now. Y'all, it got kind of heated there, okay? Let's just get into it real quick. We're just gonna get right up into it. I was having by definition, a racist conversation. Anybody who knows me, like really knows me, knows that I have never been down with the program, but the program has evolved and I've transcended, right? So like a younger version of myself a younger version of myself was admittingly Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean? But the present and a more recent version of myself is all lives matter, for short, the short and sweet, and it has nothing to do with being black and stuff like that. But that's not the point of the conversation. So actually, that's basically the whole fucking point of the conversation, in a nutshell. By definition, we were having a racist conversation. The person that I was having a conversation with is not racist, okay? And I have to put it in quotes because since I've transcended racism, since I've acknowledged and deprogrammed the entire program of race, like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about type shit, I can't identify with it. I don't have, so I have to like reframe what it means to be racist. When people say racist, they usually think of something as bad, right? Like racist is someone who hates someone or has like they're not pleased, or they discriminate against someone based on their race, the color of their skin, right? Let's just say it's color of your skin, just to be clear as possible. My language has changed since I've transcended race because like I said, I've recognized that it's just a social construct. So, and I'm rambling all over the fucking place right now because I'm kind of lit. I'm kind of lit about it. See if I can roll a joint at the same time. So yeah, when I say having a racist conversation, I'm not saying that you are discriminating or hate someone based off their race. I mean, just because we are upholding the beliefs of this imaginary social construct, this social construct that's based off of something imaginary, then it's just by definition, it's a racist conversation. That's it. I'm not calling it bad or good, okay? I'm just saying, it's like, and I saw this quote somewhere, which I'll repeat it until I get it right. I've said it in other videos, that it's like having a loaded gun, because racism, discriminating on someone because of their race are like the bullets of that gun, and the gun itself is like the beliefs. We're holding on to those beliefs that can eventually turn into something that can kill people, even if you are not out to kill all people based off of their race, you know what I mean? The reality is, which is my new understanding, my transcending, and this is like, at least a year into the making. Ever since I moved to Georgia, specifically Forsyth County, which everyone is like afraid of because they're still in that program of, you know, identifying people based off of their race, based off the color of their skin, because race isn't a thing, based off the melanin content in their skin. You know, since then, crap, I lost my train of thought. I don't identify with it. Crap, I lost my train of thought. The reality, the reality of it is, is that race is not a thing, right? Race is not based on anything in reality. We are spiritual beings. Above all, above everything else, we're spiritual beings. Hell, and I'll even go as far as saying that I don't even identify with my gender, my economic status. I don't identify. I'm not that. When someone asks, who are you? Who I am, the being, the soul inside of me, is not a woman or is not a melanated person. I'm not a human being. I'm a spiritual being living in a human experience as a melanated woman. That's it. When I die, none of this will even matter. This is all just aesthetics for this experience right now. And that's how, ideally, we all would be moving toward, in a truly equal life and world. We will all be moving toward recognizing our spiritual being, and this is just our experience right now. And we don't have to identify with it so much so that when someone's like, who are you? You're like, oh, I'm gay. No, you're having a gay experience in this life right now. As a spiritual being, I am a spiritual being. That's when someone asks me. That's my first point. Going off. I'm dropping gems right now. So I don't believe in any of that shit. I'm going off. Another thing. Oh crap, lost my train of thought again. Lost my train of thought. Maybe I'll roll up on it again, because like I said, I like the authentic, just sort of unedited part of this. But basically, long story short, yeah, we were, the person who is not a traditional racist person, meaning they don't hate they don't hate people based off of their race. You can tell, okay? And it's hard to have this discussion. He was telling me a story about how Forsyth County, which everyone feels like they need to do for some reason, because they're still identifying with the program. I don't identify with the program. It's hard for people to wrap their heads around it. Like, I literally don't even know what you're talking about. But he was telling the story, and all I was doing was agreeing with him that history is history. You know, it's real. Now I'm rolling back on my train of thought. History is real, you know, but it's there so we can reflect on it and grow from history, at least from my perspective. Like, ideally, like, I don't like when people like tear down statues, it doesn't make sense to me, or monuments, because it's representative of a time, the mind state of the people. Like, this is what we thought. There was a time in our history where people thought it was okay to identify and discriminate against people by their race, that they're making like slave owner monuments and stuff like that, you know. And it's a reminder for me, if I walked up on a statue that was like a slave owner, then I'd be like, it's a reminder of how far we've fucking come. But if we tear those statues down, trying to pretend like it never existed, I'm not colorblind. Obviously, I can see that people have melanin in their skin and people don't have melanin in their skin. I'm not, you know, but I'm race blind. I'm race blind, you know, because that's what we're supposed to do. If we're moving toward more equality, there can't be equality. There cannot be racial equality, because the whole concept of race is built on an inequality that's based off of race. So there can't be racial equality. There can't be like, oh, melanated people and non-melanated people are now the same. No, because just because you're already separating them because they have melanin content or don't have melanin content. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to explain this to this guy, and he's getting offended because he thinks that when I say this is a racist conversation, that I'm calling him a racist and this is bad, and that I'm colorblind and I don't recognize it. No, I don't recognize it now, and I understand that it's something that we recognized before. But I just want to put us up on notice that this conversation, rather, it's not good or bad, it's just happening. It's a racist conversation, period. Once we transcend the idea of race, then it won't be a conversation about race. I want to live in the time where, the story won't be, hey, this person was hated on because they're black. This person was hated on because of their character. That's it. They're hated on because they did this and they did that. It has nothing to do with what they are not. It's the content of your character is the closest thing you can be to your authentic fucking self. So it matters who you are and who you show up into the world. I'm not showing up as a black person or a melanated person. I'm clearly brown. Like, y'all are colorblind if you're calling me black. I'm just saying. Sounds like a mental illness to me. I'm gonna start calling, anytime we have a racial conversation, I'm gonna start calling it a mental fucking illness. Like, just like the other movements that just don't make sense to me. Feminism, it sounds like a fucking mental illness, okay? Because why are you even identifying with something that's not real? Okay? So that's my tangent. And he just texted me, I'm gonna get back to it. And then he was like, but you're not listening to me. And then I'm like, no, actually, you're the one who's actually not listening. Trust me, I've actually had this conversation a million times more than a non-melanated person. I just know that because that's what I live in. And me, as a person who's always been trying to dismantle racism from the inside out, trying to dismantle it from one view, now I've just sort of like upped my fucking game. And now I don't even need to have a racist conversation with you to know that you're racist, not because you may or may not hate on someone based off their race, but because you're upholding the beliefs. You're holding a loaded fucking gun. And as long as you hold on to it, it's gonna keep on fucking going on. Even if you're just telling the history, if you're talking about Martin Luther King, I give a fuck about Martin Luther King. Real fucking talk, okay? God is the only person that I follow, the only thing that I follow. I don't follow any man. Martin Luther King cheated on his fucking wife. The founding fathers had slaves, shit like that. I'm not saying that what they did wasn't right. Yeah, we've gotten closer to dismantling the entire concept and structure of racism because of people like Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln. However, let's not praise these guys and call them like saints because of they were black or because they tried to help blacks. Like, that's stupid, because now we're keeping it going. We're actually going backwards. Anyway, that's one tangent. I could literally go off, so I can go off. I can go off, but it's fun. I don't like having conversations like this with people when it falls on deaf ears. And I don't mean like by people who are like, he's bright enough to have the conversation. It's like, I don't like people who aren't willing to actually have a legitimate sort of like listen, like a thought process. And it sounds weird sometimes just saying it like this, because I've been that person before, the Black Lives Matter melanated person in America who got all self-righteous and playing the victim. So, in this lens I'm looking at now, I'm not a victim. I don't believe in that shit. I don't have to. But I still feel like my message is sort of like, yeah, I know I'm fucking right. I know I'm right. And really, I don't really care if anyone is like willing to have the conversation or not. But if you are willing to have the conversation, you better be fucking ready. Like, seriously, it's pretty fucking, I've definitely deprogrammed the hell out of it. Okay, people are like, oh, you should be afraid to go to Forsyth County. It used to be a sundown town. I'm like, okay, you're saying that I should currently be afraid of something that happened in the past history? Okay, so congratulations for knowing your history. However, like, that's not what it is now. I don't identify with that. I'm not a victim. It's not, it doesn't even make sense to me. So yeah, and then it got to the point where he was like, well, you're getting mad. And I literally wasn't getting mad. He was getting offended and mad because he thought I was calling him a racist when I was calling the conversation racist. And I was like, why are we even like keeping the fear alive? Why are we keeping the mind control, the feeling, the tug of our emotions? Why are we keeping that alive? God is the only thing that's real. To me, that's it. My spirit, I'm of God. God is the only thing that's real. Okay, I don't care about any of that bullshit, and I don't know how to sort of talk about it to people without coming off as like I'm being aggressive with it, or that I'm being like, self-righteous. So really, what I'm gonna say next time if we have this conversation, because I respect the man. Shout out to this guy. He's a good person. But next time I'm gonna be more mindful of my words, because I know the truth, okay? And like a quote that I saw, you can lead a person to the truth, but you can't make them see it, okay? Some people have things right in front of their eyes and they choose not to see it. They're not ready to see it. Like it's right in front of their eyes and they choose not to see it. And I was there before. I literally was on the opposite side, holding up racism by saying, but the cops are killing us all. And I'm like, that's literally not it. Sorry, it's not it. So I've been there before, and I think what I need to do next time is extend some compassion by actually listening more. I'm not gonna lie, we got into a point where he was talking and I was listening, and then I got to talk and then he got to listen, but then, you know, it got to the point where, you know, I couldn't finish talking and he couldn't finish talking because I couldn't finish talking, and we weren't even listening. We were just talking to ourselves at each other, and it was kind of unproductive, very unproductive. If anything, he left, I left the guy more racist, not like the bad kind of racist. I left the guy feeling like some type of way about people that look like me. Language is the first thing that we have to change. If we're gonna break this fucking thing down, I'm so serious, you guys, we need to break down the language. It's everything. They call it spelling for a reason, okay? We're casting spells over the entire earth, over our spirit, our being, when we speak these words into existence like this. No. And I'm not with it. Miss me with all of it. Okay, I think that was a good rant. I love you. I love myself, and I love being a spiritual being, having a human experience as a melanated woman. That's what I got. See you when I see you.